evening. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, the Wilmette Park District, for Monday, August 10th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Clark.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Here.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Here.
Commissioner Leahy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have
Barely.
a quorum. Yes.
Barely.
No one leave. Okay, so quick, Cecilia?
Okay, I move to approve the consent agenda of the August 10th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, a copy of which is to be attached to and become a permanent part of the minutes of this meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, so we're going to have a quick discussion. Commissioner Murdoch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so item 2.8, the approval of the district services providers policy. I support the policy. I'm certainly going to vote in favor of it. The last cow when it was discussed, I arrived very late. I wasn't part of the discussion. And so I just wanted to, one, I guess make the point that I think it's a great policy. I think it addresses some things we want to, I think it's going to be a great approach moving forward. But an outgrowth of this, it seems to make sense that it would be great to have some, not policies by the board, but maybe some guidelines for the staff about how and when we decide to bring in outside service providers. So I know, Chris, you and I had a brief conversation about that earlier in the day. At some point, as you develop that, if you would share it with us, that would be great.
You bet. All right. We discussed this at the cow. If anyone would like to add anything else? Otherwise, I can, Chris, can you call a vote on the consent agenda 2.0?
Yes. Commissioner Clark.
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier.
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Motion is approved. 3.0, communications and correspondence. Does anyone have any additional communications they'd like to add to the packet?
To the packet, we did have an email this morning.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
And that
Next
resident
will be
is
the
here and will likely be sharing with us. We also had a nice thank you this morning, too. Anyway, those will be in the next packet. But here we go to 4.0, public comment and recognition of visitors. If you plan to address the board tonight, we ask that you please come up to the podium and speak into the microphone. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes. We will notify you when you have 1 minute remaining, 30 seconds remaining, and when you are out of time by holding up a sign and giving a verbal cue. Everything said during the meeting is recorded and broadcast live on Channel 6. Please note that the full policy for public comment is printed on page 3 of the meeting packet and explains the procedures the board adheres to in order to maintain a respectful and efficient meeting. The purpose of public comment is for the public to share their comments and/or concerns with the board. Due to time constraints of our business meeting, there is not time for dialogue. When possible, the board will address questions at the end of the meeting. If you have a specific question that is not addressed, please email Chris, our executive director. I'd like to remind everyone that we are a community of neighbors, and as such, we want our meetings to be civil and courteous as possible. I have no names on the sign-up sheet, but that generally means nothing. Can I get a quick show of hands of people that would like to do public comment? Okay. It doesn't matter to me what order we go in. Walter's, we'll go
Closest.
Yeah, Walter's closest, and then you'll be next, and then we can kind of see who else would like to speak. Name, please state your
Walter
name.
Keats.
And yes, thank you.
I'm paying attention more to the packet, and I want to say that it's wonderful to see the color coding now of the board minutes and stuff by the different functions and stuff, just little things like that add to efficiency and ease of recognizing things. So that's pretty good.
I'll have to look for it.
Thanks, Walter.
Thank you, Walter.
I am Evita Mulgaris.
Hi,
I've been
Evita.
writing a lot of the emails about the pool. So I just wanted to say, including one today, I saw that you're doing a pool member appreciation on September 12th at the pool, which is a Saturday. I'd just like to ask that you perhaps do something similar to this, like when these kind of things are usually done, like weekday evenings, or have an alternate for people that can't make this. I'd also like to point out that this is a Saturday at the pool at 10 a.m. That's one of the things that I mentioned in my letter, that the 3 weekends prior to this, there is no lap swimming. So it's kind of a little bit ironic that they decided to do it at the pool on a Saturday morning. So I kindly request that you at least have another one weekday evening somewhere. And maybe publicize it a little bit more too.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Evita. Opening it up to this side. Sheridan, maybe.
Hi, I'm Sheridan. I'm a
Full name just for the record.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm Sheridan Lichter. I'm a resident of Wilmette and an enthusiastic member of the swimming community. Been going there since before this pool was open at the old pool and on opening day at this one in 2002. So I just want to thank you all in the Park District for all that you do to keep this beautiful amenity open to the community. We all enjoy it, and I've seen Patrick there. And I just want to share kind of two questions that I have. I know that this is not an interactive session, but two questions regarding this year and future year seasons. In this year, it'd be helpful to understand. I understand there's contractors doing work, but would be helpful to understand if the feedback from the community has been shared with them, and what actions additional to those already taken could be communicated and discussed with the contractors doing work. Specifically, I think it'd be helpful for them to understand the disappointment that I think some of us feel for the Labor Day closure, and the disappointment shared in community correspondence, in a petition that was shared, in some individuals asking for partial refunds for the September to October piece. It'd just be helpful, I think, to actually share with them as our partners of the community the feedback that has been shared. And then also discuss with them, I understand you guys are already doing some work to extend the season, by an extra week, which is greatly appreciated. But what additional actions could potentially be explored and creative solutions to try to drive further extension of this year's season? And then for future seasons, would be very helpful to understand, what it would take to keep it open from May 1 to October 31st, which is a conservative portion of the year, and something that I think could operationally and economically be feasible to do. I think lastly, I'll just share, I think oftentimes we look at we often look at, we keep the pool open longer than any other neighboring community, which is a great thing. But I think we shouldn't be burdened by what other people are doing. We should try to just be aspirational and distinctive in the offerings we have, which in many ways we already do. But would love to basically not have to look to others for inspiration, but be the object of inspiration to other communities. So in that end, would love to see a 6-month operating season, which I think we could accomplish.
Thank you.
Of course. And I think also I'll just say, you have an active and engaged community that is excited to work on some of these issues and try to problem solve it collaboratively with you all and the staff, which we greatly appreciate all that you guys do.
Thank you, Sharon. Michelle. Would anyone else like to speak? Yes.
I'm Les Jackson,
Hi, Les.
Wilmette resident as well. I'd like to I know the situation as it stands now, or I think I do, but just like to voice the concern of all the swimmers, lap swimmers, that have been very disappointed with the decision to close the outdoor pool early. And, we appreciate you putting an extra week in there, but still, a full month was what was expected. We kind of heard from people that it was going to stay open right into August, and many people were on vacation and really didn't have a chance to respond to this early closure. But there are a large number of people who are very disappointed with what's happened. And I think, going forward in the future, I wish that you guys would consult with the lap swimmers. There's a fair number of us, maybe not always apparent, but there's quite a few And, you know, it's such a short season, so it has a greater impact. I mean, you know, hockey season's all year round, tennis, indoor all year round. But, you know, taking a month off or half a month, in this case, is like 25% of the season. So that really has an effect on lap swimmers. Many of us are 50 years and older in lap swimming. Not all of you, I know.
I'm pretty
But-
close, Les.
So, you know, this is for some of us, this is a health thing and really one of the only sport options we have. And, you know, we've lived a long time in Wilmette, paid a lot of taxes over the 40 years that we've been here. Other people maybe a little shorter, but a lot of the lap swimmers have been in the community for a long time. So we'd ask you to look at value versus cost, and not just cost, because the incremental cost I don't think is that great. So I would ask you to, you know, warn us way ahead so we can organize a little bit. Back in 2002, we had close to 3,000 signatures to keep the pool open. And, you know, Friends of the Outdoor Pool was formed. And I think that, you know, if we had time to organize, I think you would have, you know, kind of felt the effect a little bit more in terms of what we really need. One other thing I noticed is that at the hockey rink, you've got this survey card, but there's no survey cards at the pool. There hasn't been. So if you guys could make sure that you put some out at the pool so people could respond to the survey. And appreciate your time, but maybe let's work together a little more in the future so that cost is not the only factor.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Maureen Titosian, 30-year resident of Wilmette, and thank you for all your work. And yes, I'm a little disappointed too about the pool. I swim there every day, almost every day, and it seems with the seasons seem to be shifting. It's almost always warm in September and October. And my only other comment is I think we should raise the non-resident fees quite a bit because it's been really crowded the last few years. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be inclusive about our stuff that our taxes go to. I think the people, that could be a way to help support the pool. It's super cheap for non-residents. And so let's get that up because there's people coming from all over the place now. The secret's out. And it has gotten really crowded. And I was curious too about the 3 Saturdays that are closing because I do know one of the... Oh, is it? I know one of the women that works and that checks people in. I think you just need some pool person checking you in and somebody working, and then we're not supervised anyway. So I was a little curious about that. But thanks, and yeah, if we could, thanks for the extra 6 days. If we could make that a few more, that'd be great, unless that's already in stone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, seeing none. Old business, seeing none. 6.0, new business.
6.1, I move to approve the bid for the sidewalk improvements at the community playfields with Patriot Pavement in the amount of $133,060.50.
I'll second.
All right, Chris, discussion, or can you tee this off?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of our ADA projects for the year, and the scope has increased just a little bit in order to get the accessible sidewalk in around the pickleball courts and to the gazebo. We have, to get that within ADA grade, creates some drainage concerns that we have to address. And there's some other aging pavement infrastructure. It just makes sense to do it all in one shot so that we're not shutting down that area for a second or a third time in the future. The contractor is a contractor we work with who is on a joint contract purchase consortium, so it is a publicly bid contract amount, and we've had great success with them. Matter of fact, they did that work at the golf course most recently and turned it around incredibly quick for us, so that we're not, closing that area down for too long.
How will it impact the classes like Coach Abe and fall baseball, other activities that are actually on Hibbard Park?
Come on down.
Come on down.
As far as impact, so the work is going to be taking place outside of the tennis court area, so that's going to be fenced off, and they're just going to be working in those areas. So those tennis courts and the pickleball courts will be open during this work.
But the sidewalk itself is used as a cut through to the backfield, like over the berm. So is that going to be accessible still, or will classes just walk on the grass
They'll
over?
have to go on the grass, yeah,
Okay.
during that time frame, yes.
But
John-
no impact to fall baseball, no impact to the use of the field then at all? Okay.
No.
Okay.
What's the construction timing? And
Yeah, did he give you a time frame for that?
It will be done incomplete this fall.
This
It's
fall?
gonna- Yes.
Okay.
My guess is 3 weeks.
Okay.
It'll be-
Okay.
Maybe actually might be more than that, because they have drainage.
It could be a good excuse, and
3 to 4 weeks.
I'm staring at our wonderful marketing director. It could be a good excuse to get people out to realize that that path connects now too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a more circuitous route over to the other side of the field, but get people out, maybe a story walk. We could collab with the library.
Okay.
I don't know. It's such a great park. I'd love to get more people there enjoying it.
And this was budgeted at 175, or that was the total ADA cap?
That was
That was a total 80.
So we didn't have an actual budget expectation for this, or
We did,
we did?
yes. The budget expectation was $55,000, and that was
Okay,
just for.
did I miss that, or is that
was
news
just
to
for
me?
the sidewalk
Okay.
portion, but this scope grew for the drainage, the asphalt replacement, and the replacement of the sidewalk around the
driveway.
trees and
Yes.
the driveway.
Now, this is the scope creep
Yes.
that I talked to you about.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Commissioner Leahy brings up a good point that, we obviously spend money on ADA compliance every year, and we're kind of working our way through a long list, but it tends to just be an aggregate number in the budget. And I know that we've seen reports over the years, what we've accomplished in the past, what we're hoping to accomplish. But when I was looking at this, I didn't realize at first that it was an ADA project. So I was trying to find it in the capital budget and then realized where it was. But I mean, obviously, this is a big portion of our budget this year. Do we expect that we will spend more than, which by the way, I'm certainly fine with, more than the 175 to do these other projects? Because we obviously had other projects in mind. How are we going to handle that with this eating up a larger share than anticipated?
I can jump the gun on this. We kind of 2 points, as we mentioned. Commissioner Adrianopoli brought up roughly the same thing and asked for a sheet that Director Linger and staff are going to provide for us.
Yeah.
Probably at the cow. And additionally, there's with the debt service rolling off from this year, there's an opportunity to perhaps move some ADA projects into next year and shift out. I mean, so it's a big tax levy question that we should have a bigger discussion before.
Sounds good.
Cow.
Yeah.
We can or we don't. We do or do not have to do it, but it's an opportunity.
Yeah, the short answer is that the one project we would have to push to stay within our allocated budget for ADA is 2 door projects, and one at the CRC and one at Lakeview. And both of those, although they're on the ADA transition plan as projects we need to do, those sites are still fully accessible, right? And so, matter of fact, both of them have staff heavy, are both staffed. So if there ever is a need for that, we have people who can perform that function. But ideally, we do carry those out. So that is a lower priority that we're able to move forward. As you know, that list is very long and important. So this was something we thought we could do. We have beach mats for Langdon that we thought were incredibly important to keep moving forward, as well as faucets and some other height restricted changes we made in all our facilities.
Because the doors, I remember, are expensive.
Very.
Right. So we'll continue the conversation.
Sure, but by the same token, I mean, I know that last year we outperformed budget pretty significantly. This year we seem to be on pace of the same. So, yeah, I know that I think it was last year that we accelerated a bus purchase. It's something worth talking about at the COW. We don't need to talk about it tonight, but I think, ADA compliance is a priority for everybody here on the board. So if it means some additional resources, it's certainly worth discussing.
All right, seeing no further discussion, Chris?
All right. Commissioner Clark,
Yes?
Commissioner Frazier,
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch,
Yes.
Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, 6-2. Who did I select for 6-2?
I will be happy to read it. AF. I move to approve the resolution 2026-R-3, a resolution authorizing and approving OSLAD grant program application.
I will enthusiastically second that.
Okay. Chris, you want to?
Yeah, in front of you tonight is basically a resolution allowing us to pursue a grant with the IDNR, which is called the OSLAD grant, which is an open space acquisition and development grant program, and will allow us to pursue potential property. And this is not a sale of that property by any means. This is just allowing us to move forward with the grant. Tonight before the meeting, we had a public meeting where we invited folks to come and look at some drawings and renderings, get some ideas of what the space could look like. We have another one, Wallace Bowl, on Wednesday night. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Wednesday night at the Wallace Bowl, we will have a meeting prior to the symphony that is performing at the Wallace Bowl. Small plug for them. That's a great show. If you've been there, we had a lot of very happy residents and others that came to see them come out. So
I will add that we can't comment on specific real estate for several legal and strategic reasons, but we are discussing the application itself. So, with that as a lead off, would anyone like to start?
I'm proud of us for taking this approach. I think it's ahead of the discussion, which our community appreciates and seeks from us, and I'm very supportive.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, I mean, we have,
That sums it up.
That's fairly straightforward. It is. This is a very, obviously it's a little tricky, but it's a very methodical approach to survey the community, to seek not only a grant potentially from the state, but that would also validate any sort of ideas that we have in this area. Our strategic and comprehensive plan both call for not necessarily land acquisition, but goals that would be achieved through specific types of land acquisition. And so I think this is what you want your park district to do, is to seek input and seek validation and survey the community. So with that in mind, Chris, you want to call the vote?
yes, Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier,
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch,
Yes.
Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Motion is approved. Moving on to 7-0, staff reports. We're going to start with 7-1, the executive director report.
All right. So I have a pool update here. Many of you here are well aware, and our marketing team has put out some communications. Typically sometime in mid-July, we have to figure out how much staff we have so that we can determine how we're able to keep the pool open, especially for the public swim portion. And seems like our amazing lifeguards are going home a little bit earlier. And we're even though we get promised that we'll be there till the end of summer, life changes and plans change for many of our lifeguards. And a big kudos to the aquatics team, who works incredibly hard all summer long, many times working 7 days a week. We try to tell them to take a break and have some personal life, but they are very passionate, and they want to make sure that our guards are well trained and that the pool is well managed and safe. And so we have put out that schedule for the end of the season and have posted it in multiple places, as well as touching on the extension of the pool season. We originally communicated that we have construction. We've had some public meetings to go over the construction schedule for some of the things we need to do at the pool. And in order to maintain a safe environment, we actually worked with our contractors. A lot of it's in-house, some of it's out-of-house. And that work will actually begin on September 14th. And so we have extended the lap swimming portion only to through September 13th. And are excited to get some of this important infrastructure done for the pool. You may not see it if you're there every day, but it takes a lot to keep the pool in the shape and condition that it's in, especially one as old as our pool. And so we're looking forward to getting that work accomplished and moving into the off season where we will have continued conversations with our lap swimming community on what the future looks like.
Can we pause there for 30 seconds, right? So thank you for the effort. I know you've gone to great efforts with the contractor and especially to outside, thinking outside the box is great here. I know you talked to Northwestern. Northwestern is out indefinitely. I literally called them today and they said their pool's out. So there was conversations in a lot of different ways to try and solve this problem. Is that survey at the pool? I thought I saw it today. JP, can you double check?
Yeah, it's at the front desk.
Okay, I was kind of tucked away. We'll make sure that it's a little more out there. A quick comment on the residential and non-residential fees. That's kind of a quirky state law. We can't selectively. Mike, you know more about this than I
Yeah,
do,
let
right?
me jump in
Yeah.
actually. So the non-resident fees are supposed to reflect, the difference between what taxpayers pay. I know that I think Sheridan may have mentioned that we pay a lot of taxes. We do, but we did. Going back to 2013, we experimented with the non-resident fees. We increased them significantly. The goal at the time was to try to maintain the revenue, but have fewer non-residents providing that revenue. And we overshot, and we ended up revenues decreased significantly, which then creates some budget issues elsewhere. And so, and a lot of those folks, and I don't use the pool much now, but my kids were there every day. I think I grew up at the older pool as well. Every day, it's a great community resource. But pools generally do not do well financially. In our pool, we do manage pretty well because obviously we're trying to keep the burden on the taxpayers as low as possible. But we do have to be careful about where the relationship between resident and non-resident fees. We can get into trouble with the state if we were to overshoot.
So, for example, just we talked about this in other facilities that if you charge a resident $1 and charge non-residents $2, the state looks at that as 100% over the resident rate. And so that's the percentage that matters. And so we deal with it at a lot of different facilities, and it's something we think about constantly. But I just wanted to bring that up. It's a lever that we can't necessarily.
We don't have complete control.
Complete control.
Right.
We hear everyone on the communications, and if you hang around, you're going to hear our excellent communications expert, JP, talk about it. It's something we think about all the time, and so we're not going to sit here and say you're wrong. We're going to say, yeah, we always can do better. I think I covered most of it, unless someone wants to jump in on the
I
topic.
guess I'm just jumping in because, and
And I
Mike
will
can
too, yeah.
confirm, is that, I just, again, I've been here for 34 years and with my kids going to the pool, and I remember we used to close before Labor Day.
And we're getting all that data, and
then
it's going to be shared for sure this
and
fall.
then it, went to Labor Day.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, it extended past that, and they provided the swimming. But as you point out, people are starting to go back to school already. We have vacant seats here because of school drop-off, and I remember, because my daughter was a lifeguard, it gets, even when she was still available, once school started, she didn't want to work on the weekends anymore. She had other sports, she had everything going on, and she is getting burnout. So it's very hard to staff the pool after late August, and as I said, it used to close in late August.
Yeah, during my first term, 2009 to 2013, we did, the pool was closed weekdays into late August, and then we tried to keep it open weekends, basically to Labor Day, and that was the end. And it was a lot of effort, really, working with the staff, and again, our pool staff is fantastic, extending it, and I think we'd all like to have it open as long as possible. I personally would like to think that we're already the object of inspiration for other communities because we do open longer than others, and we have made a tremendous amount of progress over the last decade or so. It's not to say that we can't do more, but I think, and Chris, maybe you could jump in with some of we don't need to get too far to the minutia, but I would just hope that the swimmers would recognize how much we have done over the recent past. And, this is a difficult situation for us as well. Nobody wants to close the pool earlier than people were expecting, but, we deal with a lot of restrictions, not just with non-resident fees, but also with construction bidding. And, it's a blind bidding process, and then we identify a contractor, and the contractor comes out and works with us to develop a schedule. And it's not, easy for us to go back and then impose additional restrictions on the contractor. And there are costs if we push it too far. I mean, we had a very difficult situation at the golf course. We actually had two very difficult situations at the golf course over the recent past. First with the cart path, where we got started and we couldn't get it finished in 1 year, and then we had to sort of re-engage the following year with some additional challenges and costs. And then with the restaurant as well, we tried to quickly get a project done before the start of the season. We ended up losing the entire season virtually for the restaurant and created a lot of problems. So, we would love to have better control over the construction and the contractors and get the work done as quickly as possible and as late as possible. But it is a challenging situation. So we understand that folks are disappointed, but we hope that you also appreciate the progress that we have made in the past, and that we really do believe this is sort of a one-shot deal in an effort to extend the life of the pool so we aren't shut down.
Are we allowed to ask any questions? Not right now, I'm sorry. So,
but feel free to email me. I'm happy to talk with you.
Chris.
Or Chris, yes, right.
Yeah,
Email Chris.
I definitely, I share so many of the sentiments. I was at the pool today from 2 until 5 with my kids, and it was hopping because this is a non-camp week in general for kids. And how lucky are we to have this incredible amenity that we all want to visit, which is why we're all here. And so when I hear you coming up to speak about extending it, I hear that it's something that we want to maintain well, of course. And I hear an opportunity for some creative thinking about how we approach it in future years. And so I don't think I think the date this year is the date this year based on all of that Commissioner Murdoch and Commissioner Clark were saying. And I think it's a great opportunity to continue a conversation with our very creative staff for how we approach it next year. The staff at the pool today were all the most senior staff. These are the kids, young and adults who have been back every year. The younger staff who really help build out hours for us are back at school, or have decided to hand in notice early because they're in tryouts, because it's new tour tryouts for sports this week. So we've lost so much staff that we do have to think outside the box. And I just ask for patience that it's something I want. It's something that so many of you want here, to extend the time, because these are the best months of the Chicago summer right now. And so I hope that we can continue it. I know that our staff would like to as well.
We've kind of hijacked the executive report, so I'll close out real quick. I think I heard Les and I actually had a conversation that it's not just about exercise, it's about community. It's a place. What other pool in the area has trees growing in it? Everywhere else you look and you see, a parking lot. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. I do think someone asked, is it set in stone? I think it is. It is. There's two things going on here. It's the 2026 construction and then the future. And I hope you've heard from all of us tonight that we are ready, willing, and able to discuss with the Lapsman community how we can continue to do this. Chris and I were talking about putting together, how is staff put together all this data that everybody's asking for in a webinar, and continue that conversation. But for 2026, this is our 7th discussion on this topic. And I do also hear that it seems that message didn't get through, so we'll work on solving that problem as well. Chris?
Staying with the pool, I wanted to touch on, we had both the pool and the beach and aquatics audits, the safety audits that our risk management firm performs. This is kind of like OSHA showing up on a job site. They don't come announced, and they are, watching and seeing how our guards are moving throughout the pool, how they're checking their service areas, how they communicate. All of those things are weighed very heavily, and it is very nerve-wracking once they find out the auditors are there. But we, again, at least the second year in a row, I'm sure it's probably more than that, but that's what I know. And we have gotten the highest score on our audits. And what's great about that is not only the how important safety is to our staff, but imagine how hard it is to train that many new staff, younger staff that are very bought into being a good lifeguard. But it is really impressive what they're able to do. And so that is not by accident. That is through a ton of work and a ton of training, whether it's preseason, during the season, we have training. And so I wanted to say a huge shout out to Sarah and Megan at the pool and at the beach, and for all their hard work to keep our pools as safe as possible so that our families can enjoy them and have the there's nothing better. Parents here that have their kids at the pool, you notice it. Like you notice when you're at a pool that's well managed. And so I'm just couldn't be prouder of the team, because I know that's all about effort, and they give it and they care, and it's great to see. Moving on, Sunset Over the Beach. We had our foundation event on Saturday, August 1st. Weather just comes out of nowhere and moved us inside the Lakeview Center. But fortunately, some of the rain held off. We were still able to have a fire on the beach. It was a little bit windy out there, but it was actually a beautiful night. And so a big thank you to all the people that supported our foundation, and all of the staff. Our park staff were awesome. Josh, your team was able to quickly move on a dime. Hey, we're going to move this inside. We had a phone call early in the morning with the foundation and said, hey, we're going to do this, and make the best of it. And I thought it turned out to be a great event.
It was a great event, for sure.
It's a great event.
Recreation feasibility study. So we have these cards at all of our facilities and are actively soliciting feedback. This is kind of an initial phase. This process will be very heavily public, because it should be. We want our community to drive what we envision at the Big Tree Lane site eventually, as well as inform what we do at both Centennial and the Community Recreation Center. Those are two of our big, busy, well-attended facilities that are packed with people of all ages, 7 days a week, every day of the year, except for maybe one day, depending on the site. Right, Dave? So we don't really close. And so we want to see what we're doing well. We want to see where we can grow, where we can get better. And then what comes out of that informs what we do at Big Tree Lane. So an incredibly exciting future that we have. Our marketing team has coined it the future of Rec and Wilmette. You'll see that on the flyers. Those postcards will be out for the next 3-ish weeks. And then we will shift into our next phases, where we will have both staff and the consultant will be at a lot of our bigger events. The block party is coming up, and that is going to be kind of one of our biggest efforts as far as community engagement. It is a wonderful event that will have the largest number of residents for the rest of the year, and so a great opportunity for us. So please seek us out and give us some of your time. That'd be great. Dogs and drones. So the fire department came to us, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, and they have this really neat team. It is a team made up of first responders, mostly firefighters from Northern Illinois, and they come together and offer this service, strictly volunteer, which is utilizing dogs and drones. And they use it for a search and rescue operation. Some of you in town that remembered that there was an individual last year that was lost. This was deployed here to help try to find the individual. So it's really a wonderful program, and could very easily save a life. And so we get to play a very small role in this by offering up Gilson Park. They will be there tomorrow because the weather doesn't change whether they come or not, and they will be at Gilson from 8 to 2 roughly. I think there's going to be about 15 or so vehicles, fire department vehicles, so there's no emergency there. It is a training operation, and we have posted that and gotten the word out. lastly, block party. I'm not going to take Lindsay's thunder, so I will just wanted to say that block party, August 29th, great event. Make sure you block your calendar out. Staff reports, parks and planning, I'll touch briefly on Centennial. We have the cooling tower is a major project, one of the major projects this year, that the ComEd work is completed and the contractor is mobilizing this week to start some of the work there. The equipment's been ordered, and you'll start to see some construction on the other side of the parking lot. Hibbard Park, I wanted to touch on, will be closed. The pickleball courts will be closed on August 24th. And so we have a kind of a major reconstruction, I would call it. The courts were done, which is another reason why it's important if you're doing anything in the Midwest that is weather dependent. We don't know what the weather is like, and when things are done, even in somewhat questionable weather, the craftsmanship, the work is more likely. I have many years of experience in this, and it's the more ideal the conditions are, the better these things will last for us. And we wrapped up at Hibbard in the fall last year, and we've had some issues with a section of the surfacing, and the contractor at their cost will be basically pulling out the asphalt. They're gonna have to move fencing and completely redo it and do it right. And so that will start on August 24th. Staff are working on, already have communication plan that they're gonna push out. We're gonna try to push that traffic in a way that's not gonna affect the drop-offs. And now that we have the little starting there, so a lot of coordination there as well. We're actually gonna be resurfacing the parking lot in phases, and that will start, what day is the Friday? Monday. That will start next Monday. And so on the park side, lastly, I wanted to touch on, we had a capital project that we were looking at replacing the irrigation at Malincrot, and our parks team said they had enough of it and didn't want to stomach that large cost and just kind of went to town fixing the irrigation system, testing it, and they spent under $4,000 and saved us close to six figures.
Good job, thank you.
Absolutely.
Recreation side is hard. There, please make sure you read through your the memos that staff have, because it's really hard to summarize a lot of this, especially this time of year. We had a great report last month with the interns who looks like they're getting a lot out of it. I think that was really great to see the perspective from the rec interns and how much they're going to take away and how much it will help them grow. So we've had some challenges, maybe some weather, maybe some smoke, and our team made sure to keep our campers safe. Right, they had to juggle. There was a lot of communication, whether it was golf or every one of our programs in school buildings and park buildings. We moved everyone inside. They had to cancel some camps that were all outside, but those were all half-day programs, so that we weren't causing childcare problems for people as a whole. So I thought that was really well done, and I know that was a lot of work in an already busy and difficult, challenging time. Now that we are getting towards the end of summer, it's not really time to sit on our hands. It's right into fall programming. We had fall registration, and we're ready to start filling all of our facilities and have sports, arts, everything, you name it, came through. We had a strong registration, and we're looking forward to rolling straight into the fall season. Finance, we continue to be in a strong financial position. We're finishing in June 1.9 million ahead of budget, mainly by some of the grant revenue that we've received, strong membership revenue, and I'll say a big kudos to our team is there's been really strong expense management. And so one of the things that we try really hard to do is manage those expenses, because we can control a good amount of that. And where we can control it, I think the team has been really, really good at recognizing that. So simple things, we have weather incidents and things are canceled. We're pulling back staff. We're trying to keep the essential people where we need them. But a big kudos to the team for that. Technology last. I'll end with technology because that's everyone's favorite. we completed some major infrastructure software updates. We configured security enhancements for the upcoming Wilmette Events website. One of the things on our audit was continuing to push our IT security, and we have a great program in place, and I think Bill and his team really put us in a good place to be safe, because that is becoming a risk for all public bodies and private firms. So they take that very seriously. I just wanted to touch on that because that was one of the things that came out.
New switch, very expensive.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. Without further ado, 7-2, 7-3, the golf report.
Do we get to sing happy birthday as Adam walks up, just out of curiosity?
Happy birthday, Adam.
Good evening. My report today is going to be brief, as I'll be clearing the path for our superintendent to do a wonderful annual report for you guys. There is some information in the packet. This past July has probably been the most challenging month we've had, and as far back as I can remember, starting with rained out 4th of July weekend through 8-9 days in a row in the 90s and above, to smoke closures, to thunderstorms, to flooding. So it's been a very difficult month with a bunch of different challenges for us. The first time that financially I've seen, financially in both rounds played, that we've been down from a prior year. It's all very explainable, and it's listed in the report. They're about 15% down in July compared to the last couple of years, but nothing we're really concerned with. When we're open, we're still packed, so everything's good on that end.
Like 2 weeks out, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as you've mentioned.
I was marveled at it. I'm not worried about me. Nick doesn't want me on that golf course.
No, golf course has been busy. Everything is going really well. As we enter camp coming to an end last week, and as we enter this week, as you mentioned, with New Trier Sports, golf is in line with that. So we do tryouts for not New Trier, but a number of other high schools in the area. Take up a good portion of the tee sheet and a lot of action this week. So exciting times continue with golf. We also are into our busiest outing season. We do our outings in August and September for another reason, a number of reasons. That's been very busy as well. So I would like to start by taking any questions about operations or any you may have for me.
No,
Just one question, because you mentioned that July was challenging. How many days, if you know offhand, have we been either closed or not had carts? Because I think back to 2018, I was appalled at how high the number was, that almost it seemed like a quarter of the summer we couldn't run golf carts, and we were closed a number of days. And I know maybe you can comment on all the progress you made.
I mean, there was a golf outing today that you're familiar with. That,
As a matter of fact, there was.
that went and was cart path only, that before we had the cart paths, that event would have been canceled. So that's an excellent example. Our golf course was closed for the better part of a day and a half from the smoke from those days. We were closed half of a day from the storm, maybe like 9 days ago. And then there were some periods where we closed early, 1 o'clock, when the storms came in. Heavy rains on the 3rd of July, as we all know. So all in all, I'd say 4.5 days is what we're looking at.
It's remarkable.
15% of the month.
Yeah, a lot of
Right.
hands.
Yeah.
15% of the month, we're
That's
15% down. So.
Yeah.
Right. Remarkable
Actually
compared
close.
to the past.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, not as much as it could have been. And again, I'm here telling you we're 15% now, not 50. So
Yeah.
something we feel fairly good.
As I mentioned, I've surveyed other courses lately. And
It's tough.
they're having
That's
a
why
tough go.
Yeah, it's between the rain and the heat and everything else, the last 6 weeks have been tough on golf course superintendents, and we certainly appreciate ours. So it's a good lead.
Perfect. Yeah.
Without
That's a
further
nice
ado,
cue.
Good segue.
Wow.
Nick Murphy is going to give a great presentation on what's been going on at the golf course.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To you.
Lindsay, are we going to sing?
No, we're not singing.
Kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
will gavel
I'm kidding.
this place to death if we start singing. Mary doesn't want us to sing.
All right, good evening. I think she clicked off. There we go. It's back. As Adam said, I'll be giving a little PowerPoint presentation on ongoing things on the golf course. Obviously, the weather of July is the big story, but I think as a year as a whole, too, it definitely seems like from one extreme to the other this year for whatever reason. So we've got some really nice mornings, beautiful sunrises, And then this is from the evening of the 27th. You could see we were already flooded, and then another storm was rolling in right behind that. So again, just extremes. It just seemed like we went from, this is from March, so we're stark brown and dormant, and then we get into June and July, and we get nice and green, and everything looks like a golf course again. A lot of people forget that we've already flooded a couple times this year. This was back in April. So it seems like no shortage of extreme rain events, island greens, island tees. And then we get to June, and then we're dry. We go through 3-4 weeks of drought. This is the rough, burning up where we don't have irrigation, traffic areas in front of tees, areas around car paths, again, where we don't have irrigation, and then drain lines. You're in a drought when your drain lines are literally burning up. But overall, through all of that, we're really proud and optimistic of how well we've taken care of everything. The shape of everything has been really good. Greens have been good. Our density has been good. We feel like we're able to achieve the playing conditions that we're always trying to achieve. Fairways, for the most part, looking really good. Same thing with tees. Greens, again, we're, from afar, when you're standing in the middle of the green, everything's looking really good. And then we get these pinch points, edges, areas where a lot of golfer traffic, areas with a lot of mower traffic. It seems like when we get hot and humid, that's when these things get exasperated. We get a little bit of scalping going on. Again, a little bit of mower traffic on the edges. So we have to manage those things. We have to try to, maybe it's mow less, roll more. There's days that we actually take off completely just to give it a break. Same thing with our tees. We started to get a little thin in some high traffic areas and fairways as well. A lot of low line areas where we don't have drainage began to thin out. And then a lot of areas where we have undesirable grasses. The undesirable grasses that have less tolerances to heat and the stress start to thin out. But again, 5 feet away from that, it looks fine. And from a couple 100 feet, it looks really good too. And so for the most part, playability is really good. But now's the time that we're going to start restoring those areas. We're going to start punching holes, throwing sand. So this is a process called venting. We poke real tiny holes in the greens to alleviate compaction, allow them to breathe. And then after a roll, they're smooth again, and we're able to putt with seemingly no disruption. Fairways, same thing. We're going to start aerifying and punching holes, again, to help with density, help lateral growth, and again, air and or infiltration. Another couple of things to highlight is, again, drainage. The fourth fairway looked like this last year after a rain event, and then shortly after the water subsided, these areas thinned out. This past fall, we put in quite a bit of drainage, and then this year, you can see where these drain lines are. The turf looks undisturbed from the weather and the heat, and it's probably one of our better looking fairways in 2026. As the golf course has been aging, the bunker faces are kind of thinning and wearing out. This is just due to a lot of use, a lot of sand splash from sand shots. Some areas where people are walking up the faces as opposed to taking the time to walk out the bottom of the bunker. And the bunker faces are starting to erode and kind of fall apart. But if you recall, we've talked about this in the past. We've started to fix these things in the off season. And so those bunkers that you just saw, we will be working on these in the fall. So the same process of removing all of the thinned turf and overused turf, getting back to the original bunker line and sodding it. Last fall, we seeded the hill in between the driving range and hole number 3 with a native mix. for fine fescue and like a low maintenance, no mow area. This is what it looks like today as that seed is taken, matured, and developing. This is kind of a close-up shot. And then this is another area on the course that'll eventually look like as it matures. Other ongoing small projects on the course, we did patch and do some asphalt repair. This was a staging area for golf carts for outings. Cut through maintenance area between holes 11 and 13. Another traffic area on 17. And then 2 walking paths, one on 14 and one on hole 6. We've also made some improvements to the driving range this year. These are some old kind of like gravel warning track mix bunkers that were out in the driving range. They had poor drainage, weeds would grow, they would kind of look unsightly after rain events. And over the winter and through the spring, we ripped all of that out, added sod, and now today it has a more clean and distinct look. No bunkers to aim at, but we did add several targets so that golfers have something to practice with. Autonomous mowers. We had 3 mowers on the golf course and then 1 at the driving range this year. Currently, we are underwhelmed with the performance of the autonomous mowers. Things have not been going, things have not progressed the way they did from years 1 to 2. So we've had them for 3 years now. Years 1 to 2, we seemed like we were progressing, and now years 2 to 3, it seems like it's regressing a little bit. The technology has not outperformed last year. It hasn't gotten better to the point that we're starting to feel like you could see this run, more on its own. It definitely requires a lot of staff interaction, a lot of staff, restarting robots. They're stopping under trees. They're getting caught on various items on the course. They're breaking down like on their own. So currently, we are probably still in a test phase if I was going to make a recommendation for next year. I don't think we're willing to up the ante, if you will, at the moment. I don't think it would be a wise use of funds to, again, say go all in. I think we need to continue to research other brands and other vendors and what those relationships might look like for the future.
It's interesting. I'm just making a comment because I bike a lot along McCormick Boulevard down to Oakton to the rowing center down there, and a couple of years ago, doing that, I saw the autonomous mowers everywhere, or maybe it was 3 years ago. Everywhere, they were all over. They were mowing that sculpture park area, all the grass. They were everywhere, and I was like, wow, this is the future of that. Then by the end of the summer, they were just gone. And the past couple of summers, you can still see the riding mowers going down there, which is a shame because I use a vacuum cleaner in my house, the first floor, and it does great. But that's what I'm saying. Everywhere else where I used to see them, they're not around anymore.
Yeah, I share your optimism with it. I was excited for it.
Yeah.
You're always looking for ways to supplement the labor and have staff do other things like detailed jobs and things that may seem more important. But one of the factors that definitely plays into this is also the weather. Every time it rains and we're too wet, we can't send the robots out. So then every night that the robots don't mow, staff has to help the robots catch back up, right? Because the robot can't be expected to mow all that grass just in the blink of an eye. So we wind up sending out rough mowers and bank mowers and all that stuff to help them basically catch up. So again, that is kind of the short version of the recommendation moving forward. We're going to potentially finish out this season and then we'll explore options, of other companies and vendors and what our other options might be moving forward. So
I mean, I think I've said this before. The only thing I can add is they're cool. But I think, and I please don't take that as direction from the board, right? I think we trust you both, all y'all.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're doing, and you continue to show that, and every presentation, and but if the recommendation is stop, then certainly we'll, there's no push. It would fulfill some certain sustainability goals.
Sure,
We
yeah.
can't-
I think it's one of those things that for our industry, it has tremendous promise, and they're very close. It's just not like you can't just turn it over without being heavily involved, and making sure that they're not making a mistake themselves, So
It's good to hear globally too that the robots aren't exactly taking.
They haven't
we
taken over
still
the
have
world. Right.
Some space.
at least in this
Yeah.
space, right? 2026 capital, just an update. As mentioned earlier in this meeting, our parking lot was repaved. So the old parking lot was pulverized. The new asphalt was brought in and rolled into place. And so we've got our new parking lot, which is fantastic.
That's pretty.
We're using it every day. You can see in the corner there, we've got our materials and equipment being stored. Parking lot lines are painted, and we're happy to have a new parking lot. The new equipment package, everything is in and delivered. We're using it. We continue to work with the company to fine tune some of the things with new equipment, break-in services, and making sure that they are making sure that we have everything that we need to be happy with that process. So fairway mowers, the bank mower, the new sprayer. The new technology on the sprayer is incredible. The first GPS sprayer we had from 2016 now has the updated technology that the new sprayer had. So we have both sprayers have the updated technology, and you wouldn't believe that the accuracy could get that much better. But we're spraying within a quarter of an inch, so we're able to definitively spray what needs to be sprayed, but then more importantly, not have overspray and not be wasting product in the rough or overlapping on our playing surfaces where you don't want to see overlap. The new equipment lift was put in. Our mechanic is very happy. That is being utilized every day. The new utility carts are in, light duty utility carts for people moving and light, light equipment, light landscape duty. This is a picture from the 2025 well repair, just letting you know that you approved the bid for the 2026 well repair, and that is being scheduled and should be taking place here soon, hopefully in the next few weeks. So,
Same level of disruption to play or different?
well, it should be less because it's so much further off.
right.
The whole. This was literally like right in the
Right.
middle of number 8, where on the other side of the pond, it's a little more secluded. So,
I mean, I've been over there.
what's that?
I said I've been over there.
Oh yeah. Any questions?
I guess I would just say that in our old committee structure, we used to have those Saturday meetings at the golf course, and even when I wasn't on the committee, sometimes I went just to hear your report. So I've always enjoyed
Appreciate
it.
that.
Welcome back, and I appreciate it.
I know
It's very
I feel rusty. I don't know
You did
if I
great.
still. I don't know
thorough
if I still
and
had it.
comprehensive. So we really look
I don't know if I
forward to
still had
it.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Glad you're here, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot. I mean, I've said this before. You don't have to stand up for it. Everywhere I go, I hear compliments about our course, and it's from all different types of players. It fits so many different types of play. It's a community course. It's a fun short course. It's a challenging, for me in every second of every day. But it's also a really welcoming course. You get plenty of juniors, and like your team's awesome. And thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Moving ahead to the operations report 7. Lindsay? Or you don't have to introduce him. Oh. Oh, you have to give your report. I mean, please do. We're excited to hear you.
Okay. So the majority of my report is going to be about my favorite topic, the Wilmette Block Party, that I talk about year round, I feel like. But I'll give a couple other things to note before I get into that. So I've talked a little bit about our RFQ that we've done with the Glenview Park District for the compensation study. The the due date has passed, so we're gonna get together with them and review all of those. We got 6 submissions, which is really exciting. It'll be really interesting to kind of look through those and see their different approaches to compensation studies and how they go about it, and see if any of them are interesting and what we want to do, if we want to move forward with Glenview or if we want to move forward on our own, and how we kind of want to attack that. So that'll be fun. Chris kind of talked about the Sunset Over the Beach event as well as the Star Guard audits, but I was actually down at the beach when the Star Guard audit took place and when the auditor came, and it was a really unique experience to just see how it occurred and just to see how the staff interacted, and they just went along with it. You know, that's what they're supposed to do, but everybody just remained calm and just did their jobs. It was just another day at the beach. And by the way, Chris talked about it, it just feels like this, oh my gosh, these people are watching me and this is what I do every day, but now they're like watching me and they're writing things down and they're, you know, judging me and all this stuff, but it's just their job and that's what they're trained to do. And I was just so surprised, and I shouldn't have been, you know, that's just their job, but they all did amazing. It's just with ease, and went out and performed and came in, and it was really cool just to see how at ease they were with all the judgment that was being placed on them for doing their job correctly. So kudos to all of them. And I'm sure it was the exact same at the pool because they both passed with flying colors. The district put out their new full-time and part-time onboarding program, so very much something that happens behind the scenes that nobody really on the outside or none of you would really be privy to because you don't get trained as staff. But it's a really cool thing that all of our full-time and part-time staff will go through. We have an employee website that has all of our documents that will be super easy for our employees to access and go through. We have, since I've been here, we started to create like a full-time onboarding process, but we never really had anything for part-time staff that was formal. Everybody did their own thing, you know, trained everybody the way that they needed to, but we have all the documents, all the check boxes, all of the agendas, item by item that need to be gone over in a really formal process. So congrats to all of our teammates who really came together, because it's truly an effort between all of our departments to get everybody trained on all of our areas. And it's a really great thing that all of our staff will be able to move forward with. And I'm excited for all those team members. Sustainability items, just a fun little note for composting. Great Gilson Compost, the camp composted all summer long. They composted 16 pounds of food waste this summer, so kudos to them for just doing that. They were forced into it and they gladly did it all summer long, which was awesome. You will hear from JP on his digital marketing campaign next, so I will not steal any of his thunder on any of the things he will be talking about. But just to kind of, this will be the last meeting before the block party happens, so just kind of some fun notes to go on before the big bash that we're going to have. We have over 25 vendors in the kid zone that'll be there this year. We have over 20 sponsors in the sponsor zone that'll be there this year. We fixed our foam machine. If anybody remembers the bubbles that came out of it last year, it wasn't very foamy. We just had to clean a nozzle, and it was tested at sports camp, and foam galore, thank goodness. So I'm very excited for that to be back. So anybody out there watching who has children, it will be fixed this year. We have a couple new food vendors, Pierogi Rig food truck and Mazmaz Middle Eastern Grill will both be additional food vendors out there this year. And then Griffin's Cocktails, who's within the bottle shop, and Pescadero will be back out there with their own drink tents, which will be great. And we had our first volunteer training tonight. So we had 5 members, 4 of them are returning volunteers, 1 new. And it was really fun just to kind of tell them the history of how the block party started. Obviously, it was a sesquicentennial anniversary for the village of Wilmette, and then we just loved it so much that we wanted to keep it going. And the collaboration between the village and the chamber to kind of make the sidewalk sale truly a sidewalk sale, to be able to alleviate the police from having to use their resources at that event so much because we closed down the streets, to be able to use their resources at this event to be able to make it happen. And then we have, I think, like over 110 volunteers this year, and that number's like ebbed and flowed throughout the years. And then we've just grown and gotten bigger each year. And this year we have over $50,000 that we've brought in thus far between our sponsors, our food vendors, our drink vendors, our kids zone. So it's just really cool to see how much it's grown. And we're adding a new jump zone. So we're going to have like a Hungry Hippos competition in an inflatable. Like, I'd love to see a competition between y'all. Like, that'd be really fun. Maybe we can make that happen. But there'll be like a trackless train, kind of like what we used to have down at the 3rd of July. There's going to be giant slides and obstacle courses. So a whole new venture a little later in the day from 2 to 7 for younger kids and older kids.
So 7, because
So-
that's later this year.
Yeah, so the kids zone will still be on Central from noon to 4.
Okay.
But this will be from 2 to 7. So just another way to kind of extend that kid adventure time
That's great.
and find something a little bit for the older kids to do. The kids stage will still go from noon until I think 6. We kind of paused the kids stage during the Jesse White Tumblers because everybody wants to go there, and I'm sure all the kids on that stage that are programmed at that time wanted to go down there too. We'll have the new Trier drum line back, and then a couple of new groups in town. So yeah, there's just a lot of fun that's going to happen, and the drone show.
Yeah,
Oh my
people
gosh,
say
yes,
it's
all
drone
in big
show.
letters here.
Yes.
The drone show. Yes, the synchronized drone show at 8:45. So unfortunately, we all know what happened on July 3rd, and as weather will have it, we found a really unique way to reimagine that, and it's going to be Wilmette's first. And JP and I can attest that trying to create a drone show and give somebody logos and imagine what it could be with songs and themes and ideas of dinosaurs crushing cars and whatever it might be that we have, rainbows and unicorns, and I don't know, like, you have to think of fun stuff, and because who knows what they'll think of, but things that are meaningful to this town. And I think we were able to do that by way of the way we thought of this town and the way we think you would as well. So I think it's going to be a really unique 15 minutes, and it's at 8:45. So you'll be able to see it anywhere from the block party pretty much that you're standing, but I know a lot of people are asking. So the really beautiful cell tower that we have out there that you can see if you're on the village green or in the street where a lot of people congregate, the top of the cell tower is essentially the bottom of the drone show. So from there, it will go up 400 feet, I believe, and there'll be
Thousands
like
of feet.
200 to 250 drones. So for 15 minutes, there'll be synchronized music and movement and all sorts of great things. And yeah, so it'll be way up there. It'll be a lot of fun. So if you can make it for any part of the block party, and I'm sure you'll be able to see it from a variety of places in town, even probably like the Mackenzie parking lot, if you're that way backwards, kind of in front or behind. It might be backwards, but it'll be really cool. So yeah. But
Well, I'll go on record. I'll do the Hungry Hippo, Patrick, if you will.
oh,
That sounds like a challenge.
Sure.
Sure.
I heard it. It's recorded. But yeah, just today we were able to finalize the event guide. So on the Block Party website, on the webpage, you can go on, flip through. We have bike and scooter corrals at all 4 of the entrances. So they will not be monitored. So bring your bike locks, but no bikes or scooters will be allowed within the event footprint. So something new this year. We've always kind of said no, but it will be very much no this year. So those will be unmonitored. Bring your locks, lock them up, and yeah, it has all the details in it. But
Will they be organized? I know the bike corrals are very, very popular, so people start stacking. Or are they
so
gonna-
what we've envisioned and what we have come up with, which hopefully works, is basically those the large metal fencing that we have will be like a large square that will have an entrance to it. So each of the slots are essentially for a bike wheel or a scooter wheel for you to be able to lock your bike up. I'm sure at some point it may get messy, but you can lock your bike up on the inside or on the outside of them. And there'll be people around and there'll be people checking on them, but they're not going to be monitored in the sense that somebody's standing there saying, don't take that.
Yeah.
It'll be bring a lock. But they'll be right on the edge of the event footprint, so they won't be like way far out. They'll just not have somebody standing in the middle of it.
Thank you, Lindsay.
You're welcome. Anything else for that part? I don't think I missed anything except for the fact that JP is going to now come on up and chat and plug his computer in and show you some really awesome data from the time that he's been here. So if you recall, he's been here for 2 years, and that's the data that he will share.
Thank you.
It's been 2 years.
2 years.
Has
JP.
been 2 years, surprisingly. Let's see if I can get this set up.
I feel like you need some music.
Drone show.
Happy birthday.
My birthday is not till September. All right. All right, today I wanted to take a look at how marketing and communications has evolved roughly over the past 3 years since 2024. We'll go over 2024, 25, and so far where we're at this year, and then kind of projections for the end of the year as well. We're looking at what the data tells us about how we are connecting with our community. I'm the lucky one who gets to stand up here and present, but this is very much a collaborative effort between the whole team. Mariana Yuriostegai and Natalie Heleniak are vital parts of the marketing and communications department and putting this whole thing together. So I just wanted to give them a shout out as well. Quick overview, kind of what we're going to talk about this evening. We'll begin high level, kind of general district trends, what we've seen as a district as far as enrollments, revenues, memberships, and how those have all varied throughout the year. And then we'll look more closely at our part of it, the social media metrics, emails, website analytics, and digital program guides. Of course, marketing and communications is much more than that, but I just wanted to stick to a confined digital marketing for brevity and just for, it is one of the most impactful ways, obviously, that we connect with the community in today's day and age. So I want to start with the general trends. Obviously, this is not intended to suggest that marketing is solely responsible for enrollment, revenue, membership, or participation. But those successes are a result of great programs, facilities, staff, and community interests. What we want to look at is how the communication efforts support that larger picture and how our ability to reach residents has changed over the years. One of the first things we want to understand is simply, are more people engaging with the park district? So that line on your version is a little faint, but you can see total enrollments and how we've moved up throughout the years. And that last number is a projected number. Fee revenue, as you see, has continued to grow as well. Some projected revenue for 2026. Camp revenue, these are realized numbers. So 2026, slightly better than 2025, which was significantly better than 2024. Membership revenue has seemed to grow over year after year slightly. Beach pass sales and fitness membership sales have continued to grow. I wanted to put pool pass sales on here as well. Although it is slightly down year after year, I think it's good to understand those things. Understand that not everything is upward trending, and when we look at this kind of data, this is where we can really step in and identify things that may need more of our marketing attention, and try and bounce those numbers back, or try to identify the reasons why a pool pass sale might be down year after year. So not all bad news when you look at those kind of things. It gives you a benchmark and a goal to achieve there. Now that we have some overall district context, we can move into the channels that marketing and communications have more direct ability to influence and measure. We can start looking at audience growth, visibility, engagement, and ultimately whether people are taking action after seeing our communications. So, as you can see, our Facebook is one of our main channels. And it has significantly grown from 2024, starting at about 4,800 to over 6,000 followers today. And that number we project to continue to increase just over 6,200. So why does this matter? Because followers are people that have chosen to keep the Park District in their information feed. So these are people that are wanting to follow us, want to know our information and our news, and so that we can, everything that we post on there, we can at least expect to get these people who want that information to hear that from us. So that's always good, and of course, those people have networks as well, so that continues to compound and grow as well. You can see that in Facebook overall views. In 2025, we had 1.5 million overall views, and while some of those numbers are expected to be slightly lower this year, things change, trends change. We had a lot of new in 2025. New announcements about the management of the lakefronts, new tot lots, new pickleball courts that people were very enthused about and engaged about. So we had a lot of interaction last year, and you'll kind of see that through some of these numbers as well. Interactions show us if people are responding to what we post, such as liking, commenting, or engaging in other ways. As you can see, again, that jump from that first year in 2024 when I arrived. But also, so I arrived in 2024 and was able to then kind of reconfigure the departments and put Natalie in a different role, and then was able to hire Mariana at the beginning of 2025. Really, a lot of these statistics and these growth areas are a testament to her and her ability and her expertise in this job. So as you can see, the immediate impact and growth from the 2024 to 2025 numbers are very apparent throughout this presentation. You can see, obviously, the Facebook page visits grow exponentially, and the Facebook interactions are really grown from 2024 to 2025. Again, maybe slightly down this year, but overall, we're maintaining a pretty good trend. Facebook link clicks are important. They're especially valuable because they represent someone leaving Facebook to learn more and visit our website or potentially register for our programs. So seeing the growth in those numbers as well is super great. Some of our highest reach posts based on views. These are from 2026. Although, some of these share a trend of our cancellations, I think it shows a couple different things. It's interesting that some of our best performing content isn't always traditional promotion, but timely information like cancellations and operational updates that can reach a lot of people because residents trust the Wilmette Park District Facebook and social medias as a source of useful information. So they know where to go when they have a question, and a timely post or notification can reverberate throughout the community, which I think is really great. So this is the Fun and Fireworks cancellation event. The second one, notably, is our Star Spangled Splash, but that actually started as a promotion for that event, and then we turned it into an event cancellation, which garnered a lot of attention. And then the third one is more of a positive note, is our Sensory Swim program. As you'll learn further into this, the beach and the pool are obviously two of our most highly sought after amenities. And so anytime you post about those things, they get a lot of attention, but including this Sensory Swim program that our aquatics department was able to unveil, and with their help and their guidance, we were able to promote, and people seem to really respond to it, which is great. Instagram. This one is interesting. I would say it's where we've seen some of our most dramatic audience growth and follower increase of roughly 3,500 in 2024 to more than 5,000 people today. So you can kind of see that in the Instagram overall views. Unlike Facebook, you can see that 2026 is our largest year in terms of views. And I think, again, that's due to a couple things. Probably, some of the content that we're really focusing on, which is short form video and real life pictures that do really, really well on Instagram, as well as our demographics here in Wilmette. We've seen a dramatic increase in the rate of growth from Instagram compared to Facebook. And I think that's just a testament to our community and what they like to use in their preferred social media. So we've seen a lot of growth here in Instagram. Again, that Instagram page visits, as you can see, is from that 2024 year, blown out of the water from 2025 and beyond. So we're continuing to attract people to come to our page. And again, unlike Facebook, our Instagram interactions have ballooned this year. We're already almost double what we were in 2025, and that's year-to-date numbers, and we'll be almost triple projected by the end of this year. So this seems to be our preferred social media from our community, and the numbers are very apparent here. So that reach is just another number as to how we're growing.
The content's awesome, by the way.
Oh, cool.
It is.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Again, Mariana is very good at her job. I'm lucky enough to have the position to help try and see the big picture and coordinate when we do stuff and the approach on how we do things. But she's the one who really packages it together and puts it out into the world in an engaging way. So all credit to her. This slide is probably one of the cleanest examples of how Instagram has changed for us. Like I said, page visits increased substantially from 24 to 25. But again, I think interactions may be the most exciting metric here. Having approximately 2,300 interactions in 2024 and having already significantly exceeded what we did in 2025. Our highest reaching posts, again, mimic kind of what was there on Facebook as well. Many of the same posts on Facebook as there are on Instagram, but I think that it shows how invested our community is in our July 3rd celebration, and that they knew where to rely on timely communication about the day's events. So people are interested, obviously, in that day and know where to find the relevant information, which I think is great. Email. I think this is the one I'm probably most excited about, just from the approach that we've taken to revamp our emailing and how it's resulted. It's a little different from social media because it's much more of a direct relationship. An email subscriber is more than just a number on a list. They're someone who has given the Wilmette Park District permission to contact them directly. And unlike social media, we don't have to rely on algorithms to decide if someone sees our message. We can communicate directly with people and more often tailor messages to their specific interests. And that's exactly what we've done. We've taken what I received when I arrived was a few email lists, but mostly everyone was lumped into being interested in the Wilmette Park District, which is great. There are a lot of people that are interested in everything that we do. But as you can hear from the community, the people that have come up here, there are some people that are just interested in lap swimming or just the golf course or just the lakefront. And so segmenting those people out, knowing what they're interested in, has dramatically helped our email communications. This convoluted graph kind of shows what I'm talking about here. At the same time that we've lowered the number of total emails that we've sent, maybe not in quantity of emails, but sends to number of people that we've put out, we've seen our open rate dramatically increase with the segmentation that I was referring to, from about 54% in 2024 all the way up to about 63% now, as well as click rate flow from about 1% up to 2%. And we were right on the cusp of deciding whether to put 2% or 3%. That's how well we're doing. We're increasing almost up to 3%. And as you can see, our unsubscribed totals at the top there have dramatically decreased since we've started really implementing this. So our open rates are increasing while our unsubscribed totals are decreasing. And we're overall increasing, I'll go back to this one, overall increasing the number of people in our contact list. And that's not to say necessarily that we're growing at a much faster rate. It's really we're not losing people at that quick of a rate because we've targeted them. They're more inclined to stick around because the information that we're sending them is more relevant. So we are not losing as many people. So that's been a dramatic change that I think has really done a really good job for us in getting out our communication. Because if we are targeting correctly, then we can hopefully reach people on what exactly they want to know. And there's so much going on at the Park District that, you know, things inevitably fall through the cracks and not everyone sees everything. But every day we're trying more and more to fix that communication, whether it be on social media or email or segue right into our website. And so as you can see, our website users have continued to increase year over year. Our sessions have slightly increased year over year. And our page views have kind of bounced around, but I'll take that as a sign that people are going to our website and being able to more easily navigate to where they want to go, find the information that they want, and then get off the website. Obviously, our website is still the main hub that almost every other communication channel leads back to. So we're trying to always push people to our website where they can see and learn about the breadth of all the other things that we're doing. So we get them in targeting what they specifically want, and then they're led to a complete menu of all the other things that we offer on our website, and hopefully jump in on registrations and memberships and all of those things. Some of our top performing pages of 2026, no surprise, all of our lakefront, beach and parking passes, Centennial Aquatic Pool schedule. That one's kind of fun because that is a new development this year, and people are utilizing it. So that's awesome. We're always tweaking and trying to improve it as much as possible, but it does seem like people, once they initially got over the learning curve of what they were looking at have continued to come back to it and have gotten accurate information from that, which is great. One of the other things I want to mention is obviously Lakefront and Gilson Park information. It reminds us that residents aren't always coming to the website looking for marketing content necessarily. And very often they're looking for practical information that they need right now. So one of the things that we're continually trying to improve, again, is that communication piece, finding things easy, but also having accurate, timely information on there so that when they're randomly in the area and they're looking for, the beach times, opening and closing times, they can quickly type into Google and get a reliable answer from our website. Moving to digital program guide views. As you can see, most of our seasonal program guides stick around the same number, and our summer camp guide balloons up to nearly 12,000 views per year, or this past year rather. So one of the things we can see that, with the program guide, we've kind of segmented it out into clicks as well. We're trying to judge how many people are, yes, viewing the guide, but using it to then get to our programs and our registration. And so I pulled out a couple of our most popular program links from all of our guides, Camp Wiggleworms being the most popular, 3 and 4-year-old gymnastics, of course, and youth soccer leagues are some of our more popular programs. And all things we know, but it's kind of fun to see and visualize and understand exactly what's getting clicked on in our program guides. That is it. Can I answer any questions?
I mean,
That was
Go
detailed.
ahead.
That was very good. No,
Yeah,
I was going to say that was detailed.
yeah, I as I mentioned, Commissioner Goebel went through and made sure to make me pass along how good this was. I mean, it's remarkable. You've been here 2 years. It feels like forever.
In a good way.
In a
good way.
good way. I think you heard me say earlier tonight, we can always do better in communication. I'm only saying that because I know you've delivered in the 2 years you've been here.
I couldn't agree more. I think you're never going to have a perfect website. There's always going to be problems, perfect communication. Just with the scope of what we do, it's nearly impossible. But yes, improvement is always the goal.
I wrote never satisfied aspiration, right? So even the flyers, I could see you'd be like, and then like you kind of knew. It took a second to compute, but like it's always on your radar, and that is very much appreciated from us because that's the kind of thing we hear. We're like, oh, I didn't know about this. Okay, well, let's figure out. More often than not, my answer in my head is like, okay, something we clearly did something. What else can we do? It's not this like, gosh darn it, right?
Totally.
You truly should be proud of what you've accomplished. I wrote data-driven impact, right? I mean, your specificity. Obviously, we'd love to have. We've heard from the lap swimmers. So we'd love to have lap swimmer mailing list like you're working on. I know it's being you and Bill and Doug and are pulling data and then looking at that data to kind of tell you what it tells you. But I think it also is a great thing for the rest of the staff because they know you're going to come looking for that information and it feeds on itself. So as you mentioned at the start, it's way more than this digital marketing in which you do, but it's all amazing and appreciated. The unsubscribe rate and at the same time having more interaction is exactly what you talked about. It's remarkable. It means people are waiting to hear what's next. It's not that they've no longer grown dissatisfied at the content. It is something that they want to and willing and find value in engaging in. And then the website views, right? As a practical purpose, it's not just who will find the pool schedule. It's allowing Google to say, well, we have that and it's ready. It's not a dead link. It's not a bad line. It's not from 2022. It's pertinent, relevant information that inspires confidence in us. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I echo that entirely. I mean, your name is one that I probably bring up every single meeting, as you probably know, just because we do have such faith in your ability to take the ideas that we discuss here and communicate it out. And it shows based on here. And I think your openness to feedback, just as Pat was saying, you know, you're sitting in the audience shaking when feedback is given. That's what our community of residents wants from us. They want to know that we're listening and responding, then taking action on that. And you consistently take action, which is how you're able to give a presentation like this. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd be remiss without doing some marketing. You teed me up. The email list we do send out, so we were able to take that petition of lap swimmers and start kind of our lap swim email list. And at the bottom of all of our emails, we have a link that people can click and specifically ask them what list they want to be part of. So they can then, it's not just us doing stuff in the background, it's people choosing which list they want to be part of. So spreading that message as much as possible as well.
Thank you,
Thank you,
JP.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
JP.
Well, as 7-6, the finance report was written, we will move to 8. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn to.
You
I
can
move
just
to
say
adjourn
so
the
moved.
regular board meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners this August 10th, 2026.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.